All right, let's begin. So today is our lecture 2 for space physics. In our last lecture, I hope you all remember this. What did we discuss? We discussed about how days and night work, how does the earth revolve and rotate around the sun, and then we also studied about the seasons, in which what did we study? That the motion of the earth around the sun takes around 365 days. The tilt of the earth is of what? 23.5 degrees. And about the seasons, what did we get to know about the seasons? We got to know that when the earth is tilted, for some period the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, and for the other period the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. So during this time, this is what we get. When the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, this is the season that we get. From 20th March, our spring starts. From around approximately 21st June, summers begin, and then autumn, and then spring, and vice versa for the southern hemisphere. For example, like if it is cold at the northern hemisphere, then it would be hot at the southern hemisphere. You all remember this?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. And then we studied about the phases of the moon. I hope you'll remember this. Remember the definition of moon?
Yeah.
That's a natural satellite and it orbits around the earth. Do you remember this part? The 8 phases of the moon,
Yeah, remember.
right? We did discuss about how to basically learn this whole part and memorize it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on then to the solar system. So now let's talk about the solar system. First thing is this part that we will be discussing, the inner planets that are over here. These planets. This is what we'll be studying about first. So look at the solar system over here. Which planet is the closest to the sun? Mercury, right? And then we have Venus, and then we
Yeah.
have Earth, and then we have Mars. So if I say what are the two planets which are the neighbors of Earth, what would those be? Which are the two neighboring planets that we have for Earth?
Venus and Mars.
Mars and Venus,
Venus.
right? So
Yeah.
now look over here. I'll be talking about the, let's say, the temperature over here for this. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Yeah, I was saying that let's talk about the temperature first. As you can see, that Mercury is the closest to the sun, and then we have Venus. If I ask you which one is the hottest planet in the solar system, which one
Venus, right?
should it be? Venus? Yes,
Yeah.
you're correct. Mariam Samin, do you all know why Venus?
No.
No? Ayush, do you know why Venus is the hottest one?
No, I just know that it's the hottest one.
Alright, okay, I'll tell you why. Basically, the atmosphere in Venus is very thick as compared to Mercury. So because of
Okay.
this, as like basically Mercury has less gas as compared to Venus. So because of that atmosphere, the temperature in Venus is way more than Mercury because of the gases in that atmosphere. Do you guys get this?
Yeah.
Okay, so the atmosphere, like in our atmosphere, what do we have in our atmosphere? We have air in our atmosphere, right? So in the same way, there are these other gases in these other planets. When we talk about Mercury and Venus, in these two cases, Mercury is a small planet where there is very less gas in the atmosphere as compared to Venus. It has a very thick gaseous atmosphere. So the sun's heat makes those gases really hot, and hence it is basically our hottest planet. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And which one is the biggest planet? The largest one?
That would be Jupiter, right?
Which one?
Jupiter.
Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet. Okay, remember this. And they are much colder than these 4 planets that you see over here. Okay, so let's make some points for them that you all will have to properly memorize. Right, I'll write it here. Let's first talk about this part. See, what are they saying? The solar system consists of one star and 8 planets moving around in elliptical orbits, and it includes dwarf planets and asteroids which orbit around the sun, the moon that orbit many of the planets, and smaller solar system bodies such as comets and natural satellites. Now, the 4 inner planets that we were talking about are which one? These, which includes our Earth as well. These 4 inner planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. What's common between them? These planets are small, have a similar size, are solid and rocky with a layered structure, and have a high density. Okay, this is what you need to memorize for this part. So, what are the properties of these four planets? They have, they are small, they are solid. Oh, soil. They are solid and rocky. They have a layered structure, and they have very high density. Easy? Is it easy till here, guys? Any questions till here?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's
Okay.
fine, yeah.
Now let's write a few things about each planet. Just a few points. Let's write about Mercury. So for Mercury, you have to remember that it is the closest planet to the Sun. Then the weather is extreme in it as well. It's as it is very close to the Sun, so the days and nights are very extreme. It's going to have very extreme hot days and freezing nights because of low density, because of low gas over there. A thinner atmosphere causes this. All right. So how do we write it? Extreme temperature variation would be a good word. Temperature variation. So days are extremely hot and nights are freezing cold. All right. What's the second
Yeah.
planet? The second planet was Venus. 1 minute. I'll shift this part over here so I have more place to write it down for you guys. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now let's talk about Venus. What do we know about Venus? The size of Venus and the composition of Venus is similar to that of Earth's. You need to remember this thing. Yeah. So the Venus is similar in size and composition to Earth. What's I was writing it in points, right? Okay, so I'll write this as well in points. What's the second thing that I need to tell you all over here is, yeah, it is the hottest planet. It's the hottest planet. Do not forget this because of its thick atmosphere. Even though Mercury is closer to the sun, but Venus is more hotter because Mercury does not have gas. Okay. What's the third point? I remember about the rotation. Its rotation is very slow. Rotates slowly on its axis. And the best thing about the fascinating thing about this is not the best thing, that it rotates in the opposite direction. Did you all know about these things? About these planets?
Only a few
Only a
things.
few
Yeah,
things.
same.
It's a good knowledge to know that what's around our world. So, what have we known so far? That Mercury is the planet that is closest to the sun. What do we know about Venus? This one's the hottest planet. It's similar in size to that of Earth, but it rotates very slowly and in the opposite direction. Okay? Then let's talk about Earth. I'll just keep it very simple, just for knowledge, and then we'll move on to comets and asteroids and all those other things. Let's talk about Earth. What do we know about Earth? It's our home planet, right?
Yeah.
And what is the most unique thing about this planet? That it's the only planet in the solar system that we
With
know of
life.
which has life, right? So we can write that only known planet with life. Okay, we have a very varied environment because of the seasons we studied earlier, right? We have varied environments. Some people live in very cold areas, some live in deserts, some live in tropical areas. So it's a very varied environment. We got oceans, we have lots of water on Earth, we got continents, and a very diverse ecosystem, right? This- Let's talk about Mars now. Do you all know anything about Mars?
Yeah, it's like the red planet, right? It's known as the red planet.
Yes, it is known as the red planet. But why is it known as the red planet? How do
That's due to its atmosphere, I believe.
sorry,
And that's due to its atmosphere, I think.
due to the atmosphere? No, the soil of Mars is basically rich in iron.
Okay.
That's why it gives it that red color. Okay, so what you need to remember about Mars is that it is known as the, like you said, known as the red planet. And why is it known as the red planet? Because of its, I would say, let's write it as iron rich soil. Okay, do you all get this part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? What else? Some interesting points that we should know about this is, yeah, let's talk about the volcanoes and canyons in Mars. It has one of the largest, it has the largest volcano and canyon in the solar system. What else? Do you know that there used to be water in Mars?
I read something like that, I think, yeah.
There is presence of, 1 minute, I messed up the spelling of presence. Presence, presence of ice caps. There's presence of ice caps, and we also have evidence of past water flows. There used to be water in Mars. Okay,
Okay.
so y'all, it's important that you all must know about all these things about the planets which are around us in the solar system.
Okay.
All right, so Mars was the fourth one. What's next? Jupiter?
Yeah.
These were the four inner planets that we were talking about. This is the four inner planets part. After this, we will talk. No, no, 1 minute. I'll make a frame for this. Yeah, okay. Now, after this, let's talk about the four outer planets. All right. So, four outer planets. The four outer planets. Where are those? See this. Pluto, we will talk about Pluto later. It's a dwarf planet. So we are going to talk about these four now. Right after Mars, what do we have? Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Okay,
Okay.
so this is done. Let's talk about this. The four outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, are much larger and colder and consist mainly of gases. Their density is low. So these are large planets which mainly consist of gases, and they have a very cold environment and the density is low. Let's write it down. So we have we have Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. What are the properties of them? These are the giant planets or the large planets of our solar system. They consist of mainly gases in their atmosphere. They are colder planets. And what was the last point? They have a very low density. Do you know about the moons? Each planet has their own moon.
Yeah.
Which planet has the the most moons? Do you all know about this?
Jupiter, right?
Yeah, Jupiter has the maximum number of moons. So these outer planets have many moons and other natural satellites in the form of rings or icy materials like the rings of Saturn. See this? This thing over here? These are all those other things which are just they have just formed a ring around it and they are just orbiting around Saturn. So let's write this as well that they have many moons. Is this part clear to you all?
Yeah.
Okay, let's write down some points for them now. Jupiter was the fifth one. All right, so what do we know about Jupiter? This is the largest planet in our solar system. So it's the largest planet in the solar system. What is the second point that we know about Jupiter? It is the yeah, it has the most moons in it. But we need something else for this. It has a very strong magnetic field. Okay, it's the largest gas giant with a strong magnetic field. It consists of many moons, and I guess that's it. I won't go into detail of the moons. It has the giant moon as well, like the largest moon also is found in Jupiter. Do you guys get this part? Hello,
Yeah, I got it.
got it? Samim Mariam, any questions still here? Let's talk about Saturn. So the largest planet is Jupiter. What's the second largest planet on Earth? Do you all know about the second largest planet?
It's
Yeah,
like
Saturn.
Saturn, I
Yeah,
believe.
it is Saturn. Okay, so it's the second largest planet. This is what you need to remember. And the next thing that you need to remember about it is that it is mostly made up of hydrogen and helium. Okay,
Yeah.
even though the whole universe, like in fact, if we talk about the whole universe, everything is made up of hydrogen and helium. Every single thing, like the basics, the basic core of the universe is hydrogen and helium. Even the sun. We did talk about fusion. Remember, when two hydrogen atoms, when they collide with each other at the speed of light, they convert into this helium, and that produces the fusion reaction and gives off the energy. So made mostly of hydrogen and helium. Same is the case with all the stars that we see that are bright at night. So I need to remember this. Hydrogen and helium play a very important role in the existence of us and the whole universe as well. Seventh point. Which one was the seventh? planet Uranus. All right, what do we know about this one? Do you know anything about this? Have a look at the picture of it. Do you see?
Yeah.
Why is it like that? The others seem to be like in a proper alignment, but this is going horizontal, like vertically, like this. No,
The rings are
the
formed that
rings
way,
are like
haven't
that. Why are the rings like that?
the planet is
That
flying that
means
way.
it's rotating also in the same
Yeah,
tilt.
there's the sun.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is a unique thing about Uranus that it rotates on its side. Got it?
Yeah.
Remember
Okay.
this. It's a very interesting fact about it. That I'll write here. It rotates on its side. Guys, 1 minute. So you need to remember this. This is 1 point. And what else? It's an icy giant with a faint ring system. With faint ring system. And what else do we know? Yeah, its color. Do you know the color of Uranus? It's blue and green. It's blue green color.
Yeah.
Any reason why? Because there is a lot of methane in its atmosphere. And I hope you all remember what is methane. You all are familiar with the word methane,
Yeah.
right? The gas that we get at home. Organic chemistry, we studied it in detail. So its blue green color is due to methane in its atmosphere. All right, now the last part is going to be Neptune. Let's finish this part. Okay, so it's almost similar in size and composition to Uranus. So
Yeah.
similar in size and composition to Uranus, and it has the strongest winds in the solar system as it is very far from sun as well. Okay, so it has the strongest winds in the solar system. That like there's no other planet that has the strongest winds in its atmosphere. And yeah, that's pretty much about the 8 planets. Any questions till here?
No.
The only reason why I went so slow with this part is so that you'll like memorize all of this along with our lecture. Okay, so I hope all of this is clear. Any questions?
No.
Everything is clear till here?
Yeah.
Okay, now the last one is left, that is this Pluto over here that you see. This is known as our dwarf planet. Okay, it was once considered the ninth planet of our like the solar system, but now we don't consider it as part of our solar system. So we only talk about the 8 planets whenever we talk about how many planets we have in our solar system. All right.
Okay.
Now that's pretty much about the planets. We have talked enough about the planets. Let's talk about this part, the dwarf ones. See, most dwarf planets, the best known of which is there are many more other dwarf planets in our solar system which we don't talk about. But the one which we talk about, the most famous one is Pluto, because we did make it a part. It was a part of our solar system first, but then we removed it from the planets list and we have named it as a dwarf planet. Best known of which is Pluto, orbits the sun at average distance greater than Neptune, and that's it. This is what you need to just remember about this. These planets, which are like after Mars, they are mostly colder and rock solid gaseous giants. Do you know what are asteroids and comets?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me the difference between them?
Basically, I think asteroids are like rocks, and comets have like dust. But like dust, like comets are like not rocks.
Okay.
They're like made up of like different stuff. I guess I'm not sure.
Okay. What about others? Do you all know about what are these two things?
Not sure. Not sure about the other
No
one.
idea about anything like, but have you all heard
But
about these?
I know about asteroids,
yeah,
but not about
Not
the
sure about the
comet.
comets?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a table for you all then. And then we'll study this part. We'll keep it simple and basic. Let's talk about asteroids, Asteroids and comets. All right. Let's first talk about what are they made up of, or the properties of them, or their composition. Okay. So their composition. What are they made up of? 1 minute. I'll write it more properly because you'll have to learn this as well. So composition. Asteroids are mainly made up of metals and rocks. This is the main thing that you need to remember. Okay, so these are mostly metals and rocks. Do you all remember how did the dinosaurs uh, die or expired,
through a
became
asteroid, right?
extinct because of the asteroid, right?
It was a pretty big
It was a
asteroid. Yeah.
very big asteroid which brought the extinction of the dinosaurs. Comets, on the other hand, these are basically made up of ice, dust, and other organics. These are not metals or rocks. Okay? This is the main difference between them. Is this clear to you all? The main difference between them about the composition?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about their location. First of all, have a look here again. Do you see this? See this part? This whole boundary of asteroids? This is known as the asteroids belt. Okay? This thing. To get it? This part? This is known as the asteroid belt. So
Okay.
most of the asteroids are found over here only. Okay. So the location is what? It's mainly in the asteroid belt. But what about comets? These comets are originated from outer solar system. They come, they get into our solar system from other solar systems. These are what comets come from. Okay. So they originate from outer solar system. Is this part clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, let's talk about the third point. 1 minute, guys. Appearance. What do they look like? What's their appearance? Asteroids have a very irregular shape, and they are like 1 minute. I'll show you a tail of a comet so that you could. You see this? This is a comet. This thing, this thing that you see over here, this all shade, this is known as the tail of a comet. Okay, this thing is known as the tail of a comet. Okay, so asteroids don't have these tails. They don't have these tails. All right.
Okay.
So they have irregular shape and they have no tail. Whereas um, I would use the word. Do you know the meaning of coma?
No.
No, like
Please
how
spell
did
it.
this word comet come into existence? Like, for example, no knowledge about it.
No.
I
Basically,
don't know the origin.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine if you all are wrong. We're just discussing it.
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, so basically, coma simply means cloud of cloud of gas and dust. This is what coma simply means. That surrounds the nucleus of a comet. That gives it that particular shape and the tail when it's moving, and it gives that glowing and diffusion effect as well. Okay, this is what a coma mean. So when I talk about the appearance, I would say that it has a very bright coma. What does coma mean again? It has a very bright cloud of gas and dust around it. Got it? They have a bright coma. Now you're familiar with the word coma. What does coma mean when I say bright coma? It
Yeah.
means that it has a bright cloud of gas and dust that surrounds the nucleus of the comet. So it has a bright coma, developing and a developing visible tails as well. That's pretty much about these two things. You all must know about the difference between an asteroid and a comet. So let's give a quick read as well over here, so that in case if I've missed out any important point, we'll underline that as well. So the asteroids are pieces of rocks of various sizes which mostly orbit around the sun between Mars and Jupiter. I already showed you all the asteroid belt, right? The density is similar to that of the inner planets. If they enter the Earth's atmosphere, they burn up and fall to Earth as meteors or shooting stars. Remember this, guys. Okay, what would it look like if an asteroid is falling towards the Earth? It will look like a meteor or a shooting star. Okay, and the largest one that we have uh, discovered so far is this one. Ceres. It is classed as a dwarf planet. In actuality, it's an asteroid. What else? They are presently classified as minor planets, which are defined as any object that orbits a star that does not have a large enough mass for gravitational attraction to have pulled it into a spherical shape. And larger asteroids such as Ceres are classified as dwarf planets if they have enough mass and a gravitational field strength high enough to have formed a spherical shape, but not enough to attract and clear the area around them of smaller objects. What are they trying to say over here? Basically, if an asteroid has a spherical shape, we consider it as a dwarf planet, and if it has an irregular shape like this, we consider it as a simple object or a minor planet. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
I already discussed about the comets with you. See, what are they saying here? That the comets are made up of dust embedded in ice made from water and methane and are sometimes called dirty snowballs. Easy? Any confusion till here?
No, got
Okay.
it.
The density is similar to the outer planets. So, okay, let's talk about the density as well. The asteroid's density is similar to the inner planets, and comet's density is similar to outer planets. So, density, this is similar to inner planets. This is similar to outer planets. Okay? And then there's the end over here. They return to the inner solar system at regular intervals, but in many cases, these intervals are so long that they cannot be predicted. On approaching the sun, the dust and gas are blown backwards by radiation pressure from the sun, and comets develop a bright head and long tail pointing away from the sun. So, do you guys get this? How do they get this bright tail and a head when they are moving?
Yeah.
Okay, because of the sun's pressure that is exerted on them. It causes them to basically brighten up and form that tail while they are moving. One of the most famous is Halley's Comet, which visits the inner solar system about every 76 years, the last occasion being 1986. Any questions till here? Is everything clear till here?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, and the last thing you see here, that written about the sun, you all already know enough about the sun. The sun
Yeah.
itself is a star and it produces its own light. You all even know how does it produce its own light because of the nuclear fusion that's taking place in sun. And the planets and our moon are seen from Earth by reflected solar light. Because of this light, everything is here. All these planets are here because of the sun. Everything is basically everything exists because of the sun. So because of if there was no sun, all the planets would have been like drifted away into vast emptiness of our universe. Any questions? Any confusion till here? Guys, any question?
No
No
questions.
questions? Okay. That's it then. This was our today's lecture. Tomorrow we will study about this part, a little bit about the origin of the solar system,